Tonight's preview show is at Stanley Marketplace. The Kids Fashion Show will be the first event of Denver Fashion Week in April. Well, right now on Denver 7 News at 8 o'clock, it's a slushy start to St. Patrick's Day. Here's a live look at downtown Denver from our Mile High Cam. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Nicole Brady. We have team coverage across the metro keeping you updated on the commute. And a big update right now. After several hours, closures on I-70 just lifted. So let's get right to Colette Bordelon. It has been a tricky morning commute out there.
Tricky to say the least, and this is a sight for sore eyes. Traffic moving along nicely. Earlier we had seen just this completely backed up in these eastbound lanes of 70 right here near Floyd Hill. Take a look on the map so I can show you exactly where that closure was. It was closed from just after 5 to 7:30. Now it does say CDOT is saying that the right lane is still blocked, but traffic moving much better than it was earlier. 70 westbound was also closed this morning. That has reopened. I do also want to show you this pass has reopened down here near Kenosha Pass. Now here in the metro, you do have a crash on Colorado Boulevard and CO2 northbound at East 13th Avenue. There's also a crash up in Henderson. Stop and go traffic back to East 104th Avenue, so make sure you are taking your time. But check out this CDOT camera right here in the Denver metro. Roads wet, but not too terrible, Lisa. I mean, it could always get icy though.
Could, yeah, and you're going to find a mix of conditions out there this morning. Still a Denver 7 action days. Take a look. You can see some snowfall numbers that have been extremely impressive, especially on the west side of town. Golden and up and through the foothills coming in at, well, close to a foot of snow. Aurora and Castle Rock at just under 6 inches. Out at the airport, officially picking up 4.6 inches. So that puts us, well over normal for this time of year, which is nice. It's good to see some snow and some good totals. I know it makes a mess of the roads, but this is going to help green everything up here in the next couple of months. 30 degrees right now in Denver. It feels like 18. Winds have been anywhere from 15 to about 30 miles per hour. So it's also going to be blowing some of that snow around, especially up and through the foothills this morning. It's going to continue too here, and it's along the entire Front Range from Fort Collins all the way south through Pueblo, where we're seeing some heavier snow showers. So that I-25 drive is going to be really tricky north or south from Denver this morning. Not as much snow up near Fort Collins and Longmont. Roads are mainly just going to be wet there. Here in town, though, we're looking at an additional 1 to potentially 2 inches through the morning, heavier south and west of town. Taking a look at Futurecast here in a few minutes, I'll show you how all of this is going to clear out by this afternoon. Stacey Donaldson live here with us this morning. It's always a treat when Stacey's in. You know, it's a decent storm if we call her in early in the morning.
That's right, and we still have snow steadily falling here in downtown Denver. The roads definitely more slushy than they were just a couple of hours ago, and we have a lot more traffic on the roads now as we're well into our commute. But as we go through the rest of the day, as Lisa was mentioning, we'll continue to see this snowfall here, but we're right at that freezing mark, so just a couple of degrees cooler and we'll start to see this ice up on the roadways. Things moving along pretty smoothly, but I feel that every bit of 18-degree wind chill out here right now as those winds pick up off and on. You can really feel it. So bundle up as you head out this morning, and don't forget the mittens or the gloves. As we go into this afternoon, though, we have that winter storm warning in effect here in Denver until noon. So we'll keep an eye on that as we head through the rest of the day. Now let's check in with Jessica. Let's go to Highlands Ranch and we'll check in on the conditions down there. How's it going?
We're definitely getting a lot of that blowing snow this morning. It's hitting us from one side. It is sticking to the ground now, especially on the roadway. The big thing this morning, and it's been consistent here, especially in Highlands Ranch, is you're getting a lot of kickback because it is so slushy out here. It was definitely a little bit warmer earlier this morning. We were seeing a lot of wet snow, but some of these vehicles, they are just kicking that snow back and that slush back. So your windshield wipers are going to be going all morning long. At least ours have been. The intersections are pretty messy. We have one not too far from here. It's that's where some of that slush gets all caught up from those cars turning left and turning right. So something to watch out for this morning. Besides that, not too much accumulating on the actual ground again because it was so warm these past few days. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Well, you can get to the high country now that I-70 is open, but be aware of avalanche danger. Here's a look at the state's map. Right now, most of the high country is under moderate avalanche risk. Yesterday, crews shut down Loveland Pass because of an avalanche. Search and rescue crews went out there after they saw a single track from a snowboard go into the slide, but no visible track out. After an extensive search, they never found anyone and cleared the scene.
Well, this morning, DIA is experiencing some delays and cancellations. We just checked. According to FlightAware, there are 68 cancellations and 35 delays so far today. You can follow along with the forecast at any time. We have a 24/7 weather stream on the Denver 7 Plus app. You can download it on your Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Android.
We have breaking news in Lakewood this morning. Even on a snowy day, a fire fully engulfed a home on South Cole Court. Fire crews still on the scene right now, as you can see from this live picture, cleaning up. West Metro Fire says they do believe there was a person in the home at the time, and that person is still unaccounted for, and the house is a total loss. We do not know what caused the fire yet. Firefighters say they just couldn't get inside when they first got on scene because the flames had fully engulfed that home and it was too dangerous. Turning to the crisis in Ukraine, today the United Nations will meet to discuss the humanitarian crisis that is sweeping Europe.
The meeting was requested by the U.S., the U.K., France, Ireland, Norway, and Albania. The number of people who fled Ukraine now stands at more than 3 million.
So far, there are no deaths reported after Russian airstrikes targeted a theater where children and families were sheltered in the coastal city of Mariupol. That area that you can see circled in red there, that is the word children, written in huge letters, visible from space, in fact, but the Russians attacked the theater anyway.
Tomorrow, the UN Security Council is due to vote on a Russian-drafted call for humanitarian aid. Diplomats say the measure is set to fail because it does not push for an end to the fighting or withdrawal of Russian troops.
Also tomorrow, President Biden will speak with Chinese President about issues including Ukraine's war. The White House has previously warned China not to support Russia's efforts.
And on the back of the Ukrainian president's speech to Congress, President Biden is sending $800 million in military aid to Ukraine. One of the weapons going overseas are Switchblade drones. Unlike larger Predator drones that fire missiles at targets, the Switchblade drones fit into a bag and are not meant to return from their mission. These drones are designed to crash directly into a target, which detonates its small warhead. The administration's support package also includes Stinger missiles, rifles, and thousands of anti-armor weapons.
Back here at home, the man accused of killing 10 people in a mass shooting at a Boulder King Supers last year is still incompetent to proceed with the trial right now. A judge ordered Ahmad Alissa to a mental health stay in a state hospital. Doctors believe he will likely soon be restored to competency with the use of medication. There's a new review hearing set for April 15th.
Well, 10 dogs now have a new lease on life. We were the first to bring you this exclusive story showing them being rescued from some horrific conditions. A local woman is charged with animal cruelty, and while that criminal case plays out, Denver 7 CB Cotton answers the question that we have all been wondering. How are those dogs doing now?
It's pure joy when a dog finds its new home here at the Aurora Animal Shelter. And this dog is one of 10 that'll soon embark on the emotional experience that is adoption.
Most of them are very highly adoptable dogs.
Just 3 weeks ago, the dogs, 5 puppies and 5 full-sized ones to be exact, were living in horrific conditions inside an Arapahoe County apartment. Body camera video obtained exclusively by Denver 7 showed how the dogs were being kept. Officers were called to the scene after the dog owner reported being bitten. The deputy who responded recounted what he witnessed.
There was feces and urine throughout the floor. There was blood throughout the apartment.
The dogs, a mix of pit bull and mastiff, were seized, and a 34-year-old woman was issued a summons charging her with 10 counts of misdemeanor animal cruelty. In the body camera video, the woman implied she'd been selling the puppies for money.
I could say that somebody wanted to buy one. No, he already paid.
Since the ordeal, the puppies and dogs have been recovering at various animal shelters, including the one here in Aurora.
They were obviously kept in unsanitary conditions, so they were just super dirty. They needed a bath. We did give them all of their vaccines when they arrived, which they likely had none of. A couple of them were a little thin.
As the dogs continue to get the care they need, they'll go up for adoption across the Denver metro.
Right now we have a lot of dogs, so we like to transfer dogs to other shelters if they have space available for adoptable dogs and we don't have the room here.
The timeline for when each dog will be put up for adoption isn't planned out, But those who've encountered the dogs say they've been nothing but gentle.
So immediately I noticed that all the dogs were really sweet, really nice. I had no issues with any of the dogs.
They would really benefit from some training, but overall they're just super sweet, really social and playful dogs.
And because of that playful nature, hopefully soon these dogs will encounter the joy of finding a new forever home. CB Cotton, Denver 7.
It is now 8:10, a Denver 7 weather action day this morning as snow continues to fall. Take a look at our emoji cast. We're down to near freezing this morning. It's going to feel more like teens and 20s though all day long. Snow will really start to lighten up here by 12 o'clock and then later on today we'll see some clearing. Tonight skies will clear out. It'll be cold tomorrow morning but then 50s and some sunshine, Colette, by tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, can't wait for that sunshine. Here's a live look at our photojournalist Ethan, who's driving right now for us on 70 near Genesee. And take a look at how different that is from what we're seeing right now in the metro. But don't be fooled, those roads can get slick. I have a bunch of accidents I got to tell you about right after this.
Well, yesterday was a big day for the Broncos and the Rockies. After the break, meet the All-Star additions looking to lead the franchises into their next chapters. And the CSU men's basketball team is set to return to March Madness after nearly a decade when the Rams are set to take the hardwood today.